Okay, I think we can start. So in the last class we were saying generally using dimensional analysis and modeling of a prototype, you have three kinds of problem. One problem is like enclosed conduits, another is free surface. So these are the problems that we discussed in the previous class. These are the aspects, application that we discussed in the previous class. And towards the end of the class, we were saying we were doing this problem, and this problem is this says so. This we have introduced this problem. So model tests are to be performed to study the flow of a large check valve having a 2 feet diameter inlet and the carrying water at a flow rate of 30 cubic feet second, as shown in this figure. The working fluid in the model is water at the same temperature as in the prototype. Complete geometric similarity exists. Complete geometric similarity exists between model and the prototype, and the model inlet diameter is 3 inch. So for model inlet diameter is fixed and that is given, that is 3 inch. So you have to determine the required flow rate in the model and various parameters are given. So let's try to do this problem. So we have something like this, and in this case this diameter is given, that is 2 feet, and diameter in the model is 3 inch, and in the prototype the discharge is 30 cubic feet second, and then you have to find what is the discharge in the model. So this you have to find. So this is an example of fluid flowing through a closed conduits, as we discussed in the last class. So if fluid is flowing through a closed conduits, we can write pi1 is equals to some function geometric parameter, that is geometric similarity, and this is similarity of surface roughness, and this is similarity of Reynolds number, that is the forces, dynamic forces. So if you consider dynamic similarity, for example this Reynolds number, so if you consider dynamic similarity between model and the prototype, that is the Reynolds number in the model is equals to the Reynolds number in the prototype, you can write rho VL divided by mu, and this is for model and this is for prototype. Now if you consider we are using the same liquid water in the prototype and in the model, then I can say rho m is equals to rho and viscosity of the model is equals to viscosity of the prototype. Same liquid has been used. So if we use same liquid in prototype and model, same liquid in prototype and in the model. In this case, this is water. So if we use the same liquid, so we can write from here Vm. So this cancels out, so these terms cancels, and then this cancels. So we can write Vm divided by V is equals to, and this length is nothing but in this case diameter. So length I can write simply diameter. So Vm by V is equals to D divided by Dm. That is the diameter. So this expression we will have using dynamic similarity, and the discharge can be given using the formula. So discharge is equals to Q, which is equals to velocity times area. So now if you consider discharge of the model and discharge of the prototype, we can write the ratio of these two discharges, Qm divided by Q, is equals to velocity times area of the model divided by velocity times area. Now, as I said, this is equation 1. From equation 1, I can write Vm by V. This ratio I already know. So Vm by V is equals to nothing but d by dm. So this ratio we know. And area again, once again, I can write in terms of diameter. So area is what? I can write pi by 4 dm square, and this is pi by 4 ds square. So if I simplify this, I can write Qm by Q is equals to, this becomes simply dm by d. So now we can calculate Qm. So what will the value of Qm? Qm is nothing but dm by d times Q. Q is given in the problem and dm is also given in the problem. So what will be the value of Qm? Can anybody calculate this value? What is the value of dm? Three inch. Did you remember? Diameter was 3 inch. So this is 3 by 12 feet and this is 2 feet, and this Q value is given, that is 13 cubic feet per second. So cubic feet second, CFS, I can write Q M is equal to 3.75 CFS. So this is the discharge in the model. Now if you see equation 1, what is the Vm by V? Vm by V is equals to d by dm. So we can write equation 1 once again, and this can be used to calculate velocity. Equation 1, we have Vm by V is equals to d by dm, or I can write 1 divided by dm by d. What will be the value of Vm by V? Because you know dm and you know d. So what will the value of Vm by V? Can anybody tell me? What will be this value? Am I audible? Am I
Eight.
audible or not? Yet, okay.
Yes, sir.
So this, good, good. So you please respond some whenever I ask. Otherwise, I don't know whether I am like on the line or not. Maybe. So this is Vm by V is equals to 8. Now see, if you see this expression Vm by V, if you consider something X or Y and dm by d as x, so this is what? This is something like x by is equals to 1, some kinds of constant. So this is a kind of hyperbolic equation you have here. So if you plot this, so if you plot dm by d on the x-axis and Vm by V on the y-axis, you will have something of this kind of graph. And in this case, dm by d is 0.125 because this is 1 by 8. So this is 1 by 8 is 0.125. Let me write 1 by 8 then. And then corresponding Vm by V is 8. So clearly, if you reduce dm, this means if you scale down, if you take a smaller diameter, then what will happen? Your Vm by V will increase. If you go this side, This means if you decrease the value of dm, then your value of Vm will increase. So price you are paying, if you are taking a smaller tube, then in that case you have to increase the velocity. And sometimes it is not easy to maintain the velocity, to increase the velocity. And also, if you want to increase the velocity, other effects are also becoming important in that case. So basically you have to make an optimum choice where you will have optimum velocity and optimum diameter of the pipe for the experiment. Now what will be the value of V? V is equals to Q divided by area, and area we know, Q we know, so Q is 30 cubic feet per second, that is CFS, and this divided by pi by 4. D and diameter is 2 feet. So this will come, velocity will be 9.5 feet per second. So now I can calculate Vm. Because I know the discharge, I know the area, I can calculate velocity in the prototype. And once I know velocity in the prototype, I can calculate velocity in the model because I know the ratio. So what was the ratio? So Vm by V is equals to 8. So from here I can write Vm is equals to 8 times V, and V is 9.5 feet per second. So from here I can say 76.5 or 4 feet per second. So this is the velocity we will have in my model. What if, let's say if I ask a question,
It
what
will be
if
76 only. It
76?
won't. So it will be 76 only. It won't.
Yeah, good. Maybe a rounding error. So if you see all this rounding, so this will be 7.5, something will be different. But if you are taking 9.5, that is fine. Otherwise, if you don't round, then you will get some other value also. So 76.4 feet per second. Yeah, good. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, good. So what if I consider diameter as 1 inch? Like if I consider diameter of the model, so dm, what if I consider diameter of the model is 1 inch? In that case, can you give me what will the value of velocity in the model? So how many times this will increase? Okay, you can do this work, and if you will do, then you will find this velocity turns out to be 229 feet per second. So this value is very high, and this cannot be achieved in the laboratory. So that's why we cannot take a very thin diameter of the pipe. So this is not possible. So that's why we have to limit our size of the pipe, diameter of the pipe. Now this is what about the closed conduits. So if fluid is flowing through a closed conduit, so this kind of, what are the dimension less number that is important, and how do you analyze this situation and be expressed using this example. Now, in some cases, you have to also check for cavitation, because in case of closed conduits, there is a possibility of cavitation also. So in those cases, you have to also equate one more dimensional number that is called cavitation number. So in case of closed conduits, or I can say for modeling of closed conduits flow, cavitation should also be checked, This means you have to equate the cavitation number also. So this number is called cavitation number. The phenomena of cavitation we have already discussed. So you have to equate this cavitation number, where PR is the reference pressure and PV is the vapor pressure. So you have to equate this number also. So this was about the flow inside a closed conduits. Now next we will discuss flow around immersed body. So what will be the example for this case? So you have a object that is flowing in a fluid. So flow around immersed body. So what kind of example? Can you give any example of this phenomena?
Submarine.
Marine, anything else? Yeah, so you can have a marine, you can have a aircraft, or you can have a wind flowing around the buildings. So this is also an example. You can have an automobile. So these are example in which the fluid is flowing around the structure, or in other words, the same thing, you can move the structure and the fluid may be a static. So basically relatively both are the same thing. Either you move the fluid or you move the object. So how do we model such kind of phenomena? We generally used wind tunnel or water tunnel to model such phenomena. So generally modeled in, so this kind of phenomena is generally modeled in the wind tunnel, So if you go many engineering institutes, they have the wind tunnel and they make the model, a skilled model, and they perform experiment. Now modeling in this case is very similar to the previous case, like flow in a closed conduits. We have to make the geometric similarity, and we have to also make a Reynolds number similarity. So very similar to the previous case. Now in this case, gravitation force will not be important, or in other words you can say gravitational force will not affect the flow pattern, and that's why fluid number is not important in this case. So you say gravitation force, or you can say gravity is not important. So we will not consider fluid number for this situation. Other numbers will also be not come, or other numbers will also not be included. So in this case, I can say very similar to the previous situation, the dependent pi term can be written as a function of geometric similarity, surface roughness similarity, and the Reynolds number. Now these are the things. So these three numbers will be important in this case. Now what is the dependent variable? So in the previous case, in case of closed conduits, the dependent variable was pressure gradient, delta PL. So we were interested how much change in the pressure. One important dependent variable is pressure gradient. In this case, what do you think? What will be the dependent pi term, or what is the output variable which we are looking for? So what is the important thing that we are looking? Anyone?
Drag force.
Drag force. So in this case, the dependent variable will be the drag force. So in this case, we can say drag force will be the dependent variable. Now drag force will have a unit of force. So we need to basically non-dimensionalize that. So we will consider dependent pi term as drag force coefficient. So drag force coefficient will be the dependent pi term, because we need to non-dimensionalize the things. So CD will be the drag force. So CD is the drag force coefficient, and I will divide by a rho v L square, and this half, the factor half is arbitrarily taken, and this is everywhere you will find this half is in the fluid dynamics. Now L square is some representative of area. So L square is basically representation of area, some kind of representation of area. So this is the drag force. We will be interested. Now I can write. So if I go, so I can write the full equation is equals to CD, and this is equals to phi times the same thing, Li by L, this rho V L by mu. Now the three geometric and surface roughness and Reynolds number similarity, I can write first geometric similarity. So if I consider geometric similarity between model and prototype, I can write something like this. So this is the geometric similarity. Surface roughness is also related to geometry. So this is for the model and this is for the prototype. I can write Reynolds number similarity. Reynolds number similarity I can write. In that case, I will write rho m v m l m, and this divided by mu m, and this is equals to rho v l divided by mu. And then these are the designed conditions. So this is the design condition. And once I have the design condition, I can write the prediction equation. That is the drag force. So prediction equation. So if I write similarity of the pi term, pi 1 term, then I can write prediction equation. So what is my prediction? So that is drag force coefficients. So this is half rho v. So this is the drag force, half rho v square L square, and this side I can write for model. So half rho m v m square and Lm square. So now once I know the drag force on the model, I can calculate the drag force on the prototype. So this is the idea we will have. Now see, from this, from Reynolds number similarity, we can also calculate the velocity. So if you see, let's call this as equation 1 and let's call equation 2. So from equation 2, I can write velocity. So if I use equation 2, I can write velocity of the model. This is equals to viscosity ratio, density ratio, and then length ratio times velocity. Now if you consider the same fluid, if you are modeling the same fluid, in that case you will have this situation, and then in that case Vm I can write simply L by Lm times V. So once again you see the velocity in the model is directly related to a ratio of the geometry, a geometrical scale, a scale in the geometry length scale. So if you reduce this length scale, if you reduce, then velocity will increase. For example, if L by Lm is 10, then in that case velocity Vm is equals to 10 times V. So you have to increase. So if you have a 50 mile per hour, then it will becomes 500 miles per hour. So once again you have to see what should be the length scale, reduction in the length scale, so that I can also achieve the velocity. You cannot reduce the length scale too much. In the previous case that was also length, but in case of diameter, similar situation is also here. You cannot reduce the length scale too much. Now see, there are two possibilities. If you see this equation, even if I have reduced the length scale very much, then I can still reduce the Vm. What we can do is, if I'm reducing this L by Lm, then to compensate that, what I can do is I can increase rho by rho m, or I can increase rho mu m by mu. So even though I am using very small scaled model, to compensate that, this means this is less than 1 and this is greater than 1, this is greater. So ultimately what we will do is, we will compensate this length scale by these two scales. So if you want to have very low scaled model, in that case, what you can do is, you can increase this viscosity ratio. You can increase the viscosity ratio. You can increase. This means you have to take a different kind of liquid. So in prototype we have different liquid, and in the model you have a different liquid. So again you can compensate. Other possibility is, you can increase this ratio rho by rho m. You can increase this ratio. This means you can increase, you can take a different liquid, heavy liquid, depending upon other situation. So changing the viscosity is not an easy task. If you are taking the same liquid, then you can change the viscosity by changing the temperature. But changing the density is relatively easy. Let's say in the prototype and in the model you are using the same liquid. You cannot change the viscosity if you are using the same liquid. But you can change the density. How? By changing the pressure. Because if you remember, if I assume this is an ideal gas equation, so Pm is equals to rho RT, that is the Pm is equals to dRT formula that you know. These things are constant, so I can change this rho by changing the pressure. So this situation is relatively easy because I can change the pressure, and then as a result I can change the density. So this is possible. So that's why sometimes we have a pressurized wind tunnels. However, these things are still very complicated, complex and difficult to perform in the laboratory. But still we can say, if we want to achieve this, that is very low velocity, very low length scale, in that case we can use pressurized. What we can do is, we can use pressurized tunnels. This means you have to increase the pressure in the tunnel, but this is also very expensive and complicated to perform such kind of experiment. We will do one example to illustrate whatever we have said here. So this is here. So now this says the drag on an airplane shown in this figure, and this is moving at a speed of 240 miles per hour, a standard air. Determine on a test of 1 to 10 length scale, 1 is to 10 length scale, pressurized placed in a pressurized wind tunnel. So my scaled model is placed in a pressurized wind tunnel, and then the length scale is 1 is to 10. To minimize the compressibility effect, the air speed in the wind tunnel is also 250 mile per hour. So wind speed in the tunnel is given. That is in the wind tunnel, that is your model. You have to determine the required air pressure of the tunnel, assuming the same air temperature for model and the prototype. So you have to assume the temperature is constant. That is the prototype is having the same temperature and you are performing your experiment also on the same temperature. So this is the assumption you have to make. And then you have to find the drag force on the prototype corresponding to a measured force of 1 pound on the model. So let's say you are doing the experiment and somehow you measure the drag force on the model and this drag force is 1 pound. Then what is the drag force on the prototype, on the actual structure or actual aircraft? So what are the things that is given in this case? So velocity is given, that is 20 mile per hour. A scale is given, that is 1:10 ratio, and this is the length scale. Air speed in the wind tunnel, that is given, that is 240 miles per hour. What you have to find? Air pressure in the tunnel. Air pressure in the tunnel. And the second thing you have to find drag force on the prototype. So drag force on the prototype corresponding to drag force on the model of 1 pound. So this is given. So this is an example of object, or the object is immersed in the fluid. So we can use this numbers, Reynolds number, I already said Reynolds number and geometric similarity, and you have to equate the surface roughness. So if you consider first Reynolds number similarity, so if you consider Reynolds number similarity, you can write rho m Vm Lm divided by mu m is equals to rho Vl by mu. Now you know Lm by L is equals to 1 by 10. Lm by L is equals to 1 by 10, that is given in the problem. So if you plug this, and also you are given that is velocity is given, velocity Vm and V is given, so you can write rho m by rho is equals to mu m by mu and V by Vm, and this is L by Lm. I hope everything is correct. If there is anything different, let me know. So this is rho m by rho is equals to, this is 10 and mu m by mu, and this is V by Vm. So you see, now we cannot use the same fluid, even though, because this ratio V by Vm is also given. So we cannot use the same fluid because you see this rho m by rho and mu m by v. If you're using the same fluid, this equality will not be like this. This equation will not be satisfied because Vm by V is given. So you have to use a different kind of fluid, or you have to use pressurized tunnel. So what was the Vm by V? What is Vm and what is V? So Vm is 240 and V is, so let me check here. So Vm is, yeah, so it's not 20, it's 240. So you see, Vm is also 240. So a wind tunnel is 240 and this aircraft speed is also 240. So this is not 20, this is 240. So yeah, so this is 240, this is 240. So the prototype and model scale both are having same velocity. So if you plug here, so you can write rho m by rho is equals to mu m by mu, and this is 240 by 240, that is 1. So this will be rho m divided by rho is equals to mu m by mu times 10. So this is the equation you have. So now see, you cannot use the same liquid or same air, because in that case what will happen? This will be 1 and this will also be 1. So you will have 1 is equals to 10. That is not satisfied. So Reynolds number similarity will not be satisfied if you assume that is rho m is equals to rho and mu m is equals to mu. In that case, Reynolds number similarity will not be satisfied. So now what we can do? Then we can do one thing. We can change the same fluid. In that case, mu m by mu is same, but we can change the pressure. So this means we can use a pressurized tunnel. So we will use, in this case, pressurized tunnel. So in that case, viscosity will be same because we are using the same liquid, same fluid, in this case air, but the density will change. So I will have rho m divided by rho is equals to 10. This means rho m is equals to 10 times rho, and then I can use ideal gas equation, that is Pm is equals to rho RT. Temperature is same. So now I can write Pm. So this is for model. So Pm, what are the things that is constant? This is constant, temperature is constant, this is constant. So I can write this is for model and this is for prototype. So from here I can write Pm by P is equals to rho m by rho. So this is, in this equation I can again plug. So this becomes Pm by P is equals to 10. So what will be the pressure? So the pressure in the tunnel will be 10 times P. Let's say the aircraft is flowing at 1 atmospheric pressure, then in the wind tunnel you will have a pressure of 10 atmospheric pressure. So I can say from here Pm is equals to 10 times P, and let's say P is equals to 1 atmospheric pressure, then the pressure in the model is equals to 10 atmospheric pressure. So pressure in the wind tunnel, pressure in the wind tunnel, this is equals to 10 atmospheric pressure. So this was the first part. You have to calculate the required air pressure in the wind tunnel. And the second part, the drag force on the prototype corresponding to major drag force of 1 pound. So now next part, in part B, drag force on the model is given, that is 1 pound. Then you have to calculate drag force on the prototype. That is, you have to equate the prediction equation. I will wait for 1 minute and you have to give me the value of D. So what you have to do is you have to equate the drag force coefficients. All the numbers you have, give me the value. So let us equate the drag force coefficient for the model and for the prototype. Everything you know, length scale you know, velocity scale you know, density scale you know. Then plug all these values and give me the value of drag force on the prototype. Are you doing the calculation? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Good.
is coming out to be 10.
10 times of, so 10 pound.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Samrat?
Yes, sir. Calculating, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, I want some students to do this. 10 pound, good. Okay, so good. So let's say this is the 10 pound. So I can equate. This is the coefficient for the model, and this is the coefficient for, first is the prototype, and the second is for the model. And then if you, somebody has to mute, d is equals to rho divided by rho m. Yeah, somebody has to mute. And this is L by Lm square dm. And this becomes 1 by 10. This is 1. This is 10. And this is 1 pound as given in the problem. So velocity of drag force on the prototype is 10 pound. So this is the drag force we will have on the prototype. Why sound is coming? Everybody has muted them. Anyway. So this is the example when you have a object that is immersed or a structure immersed in a fluid. Now the third situation you can have, that is flow with a free surface. Flow with a free surface. Let me see why this sound is coming. You also hear some noise?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
So
sir.
okay, good. Yeah, now it's okay in my side also. Flow with a free surface. Flow with a free surface. So this is the third situation in which your liquid surface is free. What are the example? Can anybody give me some example of this situation?
Sir,
Where
lake,
yeah,
river.
good. So in this case, you can have flow in the canals, in the river, in a spillway. So these are flow in a free surface. Basically, you will have one course, open channel flow also, and where there you study more. Now, in this kind of flow, so we are interested in what are the non-dimensional numbers that is important. Now in this case, this flow happens because of the gravity. So river flowing, water is flowing inside the river, mostly gravity, some inertia force is also there. So in these cases, fluid number will be important. So in this case, I can say both gravitational and inertial forces are important. Inertial forces are important. So if you remember, there is a number that is called fluid number that involves gravity. So to analyze this kind of problem, we have to consider the similarity of fluid number also. Another thing in this case, that is you have a free surface that is interacting with air. So you have a free surface of liquid. So in this case, free surface with liquid air interface. So whenever you have some interface, surface tension becomes important. So in this case, you have to also consider surface tension, and corresponding dimensionless number is Weber number. So you have to also make similarity of Weber number in this case. Of course, you will have to equate the Reynolds number, and you have to also consider geometric similarity. Geometric similarity. So if you consider all this, now in this case, my dependent pi term can be written as a function of some non-dimensional numbers related to geometry, surface roughness, inertia forces, gravity forces, and finally this Weber number that is related to surface tension. In this case, sigma is coefficient for surface tension. So now, once again, you have to equate this. So if you want to write design equations, you have to apply Froude number similarity. So you have to apply similarity for Froude number. So this will be, and this is Vy under root ZL. Now if you consider Gm is equals to Z, that is gravity is constant, then you can write Vm by V is equals to under root Lm by L, and that is under root lambda L. So I can write Vm is equals to under root lambda L times V. Now if you consider Reynolds number similarity, if you consider the Reynolds number similarity, you can write rho m Bm Lm divided by viscosity rho V L by mu, and then from here if you rearrange the term you will find this can be written as something like this: B by Vm L by Lm. Or you can also write the reverse of this: rho m by rho Vm by V Lm by L. Now Lm by L, we already know that this is Lm by L is a scale ratio, and in the previous case Froude number similarity we have already calculated Vm by V, that is a square root of lambda L. Remember, somebody asked in the last class that these dimensionless numbers can be related. Yes, they can be related. Example is here. You see, Froude number similarity is giving you some scale in the velocity, and that can be used in the Reynolds number similarity. So if you plug this, you will have mu m by mu is equals to rho m by rho, and this is lambda raised to the power 3 by 2. So this is coming from Reynolds number similarity. Next you can do Weber number similarity. So if you use Weber number similarity, then once again you will see that these constants or these scales are coming here. So this is this by sigma. So you can write sigma by sigma m is equals to rho by rho m, and this is V by Vm square L by Lm. Now I know L by Lm is nothing but lambda L. V by this is nothing but 1 by lambda L. This is 1 by lambda L, and this is once again 1 by lambda L, because if you must square, then this becomes, and this is okay. So I am writing here this is sigma m by sigma. So I have reversed this, and then this becomes, you can do the this exercise. This is nothing simple. So this is rho m by rho m. So from here you can say this will come. So if you rearrange, this will come sigma m by sigma rho m by rho is equals to lambda L square. So the Weber number similarity is giving you some relation between surface tension coefficient and the density ratio of the model and the prototype. So now using this, you can solve a problem. So once you know this, once you equate these three terms, you make the similarity of this, and then you can solve the problem. Okay, I have a problem here, but there is not much time. So maybe in the next class, I can discuss this. It will take 5 minutes time only. Anyway, we can stop here. In the next class, we will discuss one problem, and then we will discuss differential equation, how you can do, how you can non-dimensionalize the differential equation. And then slowly we will move towards the flow in a closed pipe. More study about that. If you have any question, then you can ask. Otherwise,
Yes, sir. Sir, what is characteristic velocity?
characteristic velocity, you have to define some kind of reference velocity. Like when for non-dimensionalizing, you have to divide some kind of velocity. You can take average velocity as a characteristic velocity or any velocity. It depends upon like problem to problem. So you define a velocity. It's a constant. It's a constant. Reference velocity or a constant. You can divide average as a reference, or you can divide maximum as the reference, or you can divide lowest velocity as the reference. So characteristic velocity is a kind of constant velocity that you will decide depending upon the problem to problem. Yeah. So generally mean velocity is taken as characteristic velocity. Yeah. Anything else?
Sir, in the previous problem, we cancelled m because it was constant. So how will it be constant? Because if you are taking different fluid, then it will be different for them, no?
I am not taking different fluid in this problem. The same fluid we have, only thing is pressure is increased. Fluid is both air. The aircraft is in the air, and in the wind tunnel also it is in the air. So we can change the density by increasing the pressure. You have the air, you can increase the pressure. So we are using the same fluid, but pressure inside the wind tunnel has been increased because that's the use of wind tunnel. So the wind tunnel, if you see in any laboratory, they increase the pressure, they change the pressure and the velocity. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Sir,
Yeah.
in cavitation number, it is given by P minus PV by half rho V square. Then how we will know that cavitation will occur?
Then you have to check like a fast, you have to check. Yeah, you are right. We are not going into details of that, but earlier we showed like if your pressure is less than the vapor pressure, then you will have a cavitation.
Yes, sir.
So you have to check whether the pressure is less than the vapor pressure or not, and similar things. And then if you feel that there is a chance of cavitation, like pressure is going very small, very low, in those cases you can equate the cavitation number also.
Okay, sir. Sir, and in the previous problem, that Reynolds condition, can we use a fluid with different density and different viscosity, but that satisfies the condition?
Yes, you can use, but practically it will not be possible because once you are changing the fluid, the cost will increase, but you can always use. Good, you can do that. Theoretically you can do that, but maybe practically it may not be feasible. But as a mathematical exercise, you can always do that. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I think we can stop here, and Monday I will not have a class, and Tuesday maybe we will have a tutorial, and then Wednesday we will have a regular class. Then we'll discuss more. If needed, we can have extra class one more time sometime next week. If I'm not able to make on Tuesday, then I will try to make it on Tuesday a tutorial if possible, or yeah. So you do the problems, and then we will discuss in the next week some more about the next topics. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Sir.
sir.
Bye.